You are listening to a previously recorded episode of Luxe Life Discovered. Today's guest has an extraordinary story, from his childhood in Liberia, his journey to the USA, and wonderful achievements. Welcome Zhalman Harris to Luxe Life Discovered.
Hello, I'm Rick Steiner. We're back with another episode of Luxe Life Discovered. Have my co-host Shannon Richmond with me. Welcome back, Shannon.
Thank you. I'm always happy to be here.
Great. We have a very interesting guest today that I'm wanting to know so much more about, and it's Zhalman Harris. He's from the 30A area, but you're a photographer, so kind of give us a back. We'll just start with that part, but there's so many different layers. It's like an onion just to peel back and discover and ask you about. So let's start with your photography first.
Well, thanks for having me. I am a photographer in the Destin 38 area. I shoot for VIP Destin Magazine. Okay. And I also, I'm a freelancer, so I do a lot of other work with corporates and individuals.
Okay, great. How did you get your interest? How did your interest in photography develop?
Well, before I moved here, I used to live in Minnesota. So I'm an actor. And before I became an actor in 2009, I used to rap. So,
well, wow! Now we've just gone a whole different.
So when I left rapping, I left the record label. I started my own label, and then I started photographing and doing music videos of the acts that were on my label, and then I just stopped doing videography, which I actually love, but then I started doing photography. So when I traveled, I went, every time I go overseas and stuff, I just loved, photography. And when I came to Florida, to Destin, I came here basically to partner in the company, not photography. And I realized that I did not like to do what I was doing. And I was sitting on my couch one day pouting, and I saw my camera bag in the corner of the room, and I was like, oh, well, I have a camera bag over there, like about 10 grand worth of equipment, and I'm sitting here, I better, and I just got on my phone and started looking for photography jobs, and I got a call from VIP Magazine, and the rest is history. That's how I met almost everybody that I should meet.
Wow.
That's interesting.
So you used to rap. I'm going back to that.
We'll get back to photography. You kind of caught our attention. So, tell us about the rap.
Well, I started rapping in the 90s in Africa.
You're from Liberia originally,
yes,
right?
I'm from Liberia. So when I was a refugee in Ghana, I started rapping and modeling, but in Africa at the time, we didn't make a lot of money from rapping. I mean, from music. You were famous or you were popular and stuff, but really didn't make any money. So when I came to the States, I recorded an album. I got signed to this independent label in Minneapolis, and it was taking them forever to release my album. And I got kind of frustrated, and because I was not the typical rapper who was talking about booties and everything else. I was talking about my life.
Right.
And it probably, I guess it wasn't interesting to them at the time. So I left, and then I started acting.
And did you act anywhere that we know about?
I do a few commercials and stuff originally around here. I did a movie called Into the Void, a sci-fi movie that is on Amazon Prime.
I have Amazon Prime. We'll watch it tonight.
Right, yeah. Be looking for that one.
So, that was the movie the only movie that I did. I did a lot of auditions for movies down here. Unfortunately, I do not have a Southern accent, so I missed out on a lot of good roles.
That's a shame, yeah. Just tell them to dub it. Come on.
That's so cool. So did you get the bug for acting? And did you get that bug and you desired to do that?
I think I always loved to act. I was just too shy to do it, and I thought that I was not going to be good enough. And when I finally got, the courage to do it, when I went to this for this audition for the sci-fi movie, actually, the director said, "I'm looking for somebody with an accent." So I was like, so I was like, oh, well, I guess my accent is not going to hold me back. Right. And I did it, and when I got in the car, leaving the audition place, I got a call. You got to roll. He said, because you've got just what we're looking for.
Oh, wow. I can't wait to watch that.
Really? So how long did that last, that particular, like a season or?
No, it's a movie, not a
a movie. Okay. Yeah.
It's a movie. So I think the entire shoot took like 4 weeks.
How fun.
On set.
And where was on set?
In Minneapolis. Yeah, so they built this whole huge stuff that looked like a spaceship, and yeah.
What an experience, yeah. Wow, so how did you end up in Minneapolis from Ghana?
Well, after spending 10 years in Ghana on a refugee camp, or on and off, I came to the States in 2000, and we moved to New York, me and my family, my grandma, sister, and cousins. And I realized, because we were living in Manhattan, I realized that I did not like that place. It was crazy busy. Talk about a cultural shock.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, because that was like a major shock coming from Africa and not going upstate New York or going in a quiet place, just being
middle of it, yeah.
Right in the middle. Yeah. And I was like, no, I can't do this. So I visited Minnesota where my uncle lived, and he said, hey, like they pay better here. And I went to Minnesota during the summer. It was beautiful, and I was like, oh wow, this place is just so green and so beautiful. And I went back to New York, quit my job because I was in New York for like 4 months or so, and moved to Minnesota. And 2 months later, it wasn't so beautiful anymore.
It got cold, didn't it?
It got cold and white. And, all the greenery would just disappear.
Right.
Yeah.
So how did you hear about Florida? What brought you to Florida?
Well, Florida, I came to visit because my godfather, who is the pastor of the Faith Assembly's church in Miramar Beach, lived here. So we got in contact with them again, and I came down for a week of vacation, and we went to the farm or something to go, and I was helping him fix this machinery. And he didn't know at the time that I actually went to school to do automotive engineering. So I'm kind of good with my hands, even though I don't do it anymore.
But you can.
I know a little bit to at least change my own car oil. And
more than me.
Me too.
When after that we went to lunch, he was like, I was watching you. You're good with your hands. I think you'll be good with my son-in-law coming here to do construction. So I was like, construction? I don't know.
Excuse me, I'm an actor.
So I came down here. They convinced me. I came down here and stayed here for about 6 months, took the construction tests, which is very difficult, by the way, and passed them both. A year later, I got my contractor's license, so I do have a construction contracting license as well.
Wow.
And
make sure I get your number before we leave.
Yeah.
And I started, working with the son-in-law, but then I realized it was really, really hot here, and I did not like being outside. And
you've gone from the nice, cold, white area to the hot, sunny.
From one extreme to the other.
Yes.
And I was working corporate for U.S. Bank, So I came from working downtown Minneapolis to here outside in the sun, and I didn't really like it too much.
Yeah.
So.
That'd be a big difference.
But I love that you're willing to give it a try.
Yeah.
I'll give everything a try.
That's awesome.
At least once.
Well, and this way you get to experience so much in life and know what you want to do and what you don't want to do. You release your own album?
No, I did not. I did not. Okay. I have an unreleased album. I have a song that is called War Child, which I wrote specifically for a performance with Luciano Pavarotti at the time before he died. And so I was supposed to travel to Italy, and things didn't work out. I don't know what happened. There was some politicking going on, and I did not go. But I still kept that song because it meant so much to me, being a war child,
and that's how you ended up in the refugee camp?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we escaped Liberia that had a 14-year civil war.
Wow. So, okay, I'm going to go in a totally different direction. with everything going on in Ukraine right now.
Mm-hmm.
So when you see all the masses of people leaving their country and going to adjoining countries and they're in camps.
I know what yeah.
Yeah. Does that make you want to release that song even more? I mean, because it seems like it'd be so relevant.
Right
you know?
now.
Right.
Yeah. Right now. Because I remember running. I remember, the guns, the blasting, the bombs, and actually it was a bomb that killed my mother when the bomb hit the house. So when I'm watching TV and seeing and hearing all this stuff, it just hits me because I literally experienced it.
Yeah.
I think it's perfect now to release it.
Can you release it?
I could if I
mean, so you've got the ability to do that. Okay, so back to Shannon's question, the photography.
So when did you start photography? When you got here? Or
No. I started photography in Minneapolis. So I was doing photography in Minneapolis on the side.
Okay.
So I'll say probably around 2007, 2008.
Okay. And so then you got here and a big magazine picked you up?
Yeah, VIP
How did they find you?
Because I reached out to them. They were
Okay.
looking for a photographer, and I reached out to them, and they asked me, hey, do you have your own equipment? Can you write? I said, I think I can write because I have written a script for a full-length movie, so maybe. So like, well, come on in and we'll give you a shot. And I went and missed my first appointment for a shoot. Yeah.
You missed it?
Wait, how did you miss it? That sounds like a good story.
It was horrible. So I was still doing the construction work, and I was all dirty and messy in the trenches, and I get a call from Dawn, I think that was her name, and she, hey, Zhalman, are you going to the event today? I was like, well, the event is on the 18th. She's like, yeah, today's the 18th.
Oh, no.
I mean, I jumped out of the hole, got in my car all dirty, ran home, showered, and got to Destin. It was actually the Destin ER. It was a groundbreaking ceremony for the Destin ER. And when I got there, they were done.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I'm so sorry. And I'm just thinking to myself, well, buddy, you just blew it. That's it. And then the editor at the time told me, hey, don't worry about it. It happens. And they were so gracious. And there's another event tonight. Just make sure you're there. I'm like, I will be there. Uh-huh. I came to the event that night. I came with 2 cameras, funnily. I was ready to shoot.
Yeah.
I'm not going to miss a thing. Yeah.
And then the publisher was like, oh, my God, he came to shoot. He's got 2 cameras. And it was my first time, ever doing an event and stuff like that. So I was a little bit nervous, too. And it went well. And I was sending the pictures and the article. And they're like, well, this is good. We would like to, do a few more with you and see what happens. And that's 4 or 5 years later.
Wow, that's great.
So do you do anything for others, or is it just the magazine you do?
I do a lot for other people, yeah.
What is your favorite thing to shoot?
Oh, my gosh. I'll say landscapes and like, so when I go to Europe, I shoot, windmills, castles, and stuff like that, or street corners. But I don't get paid for that.
That's what you love to do.
Yeah, I love to shoot that. So what I'll do is probably once in a while I'll put it on a little canvas and give it to somebody as a gift.
Well, that's
nice.
What a nice gift.
Yeah.
So, all right, the artistic community in Destin 38, there's a lot of talent in PCB too. So there's a lot of talent here. So have you been surprised by that? I know we have a mutual friend, Maxine Orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you shot some of her work at her studio and different events too.
Yeah.
But have you been amazed at that?
It's amazing to see the group of people here, because there's so many, awesome artists. And it's crazy in other places for the way, there's a concentration of artists here, people will be struggling. But it's like another good thing is they all embrace each other.
Right.
There's a competition, but there's really no competition, which makes it even, awesome, even more awesome, because people just support each other. And I think that's the beauty of it, and that's why everybody is so successful here, because nobody's really fighting for, this is my area, and stuff like that.
Isn't that
Everybody.
nice?
It is, and a good example of that is Maxine's studio that she just opened. She has, her area, but she also features other artists and their work. And
Wow, that says a lot.
Yeah, and then they do pop-up shops now. That's become a big thing everywhere. So it's interesting to see. And you brought out a good point. There's a good camaraderie, and there's not like a territorial thing. And like, this is my area. Don't intrude. Don't intrude. But it's worked well. So something else that's also intrigued me about you. Tell me about the boys' school in Liberia that you support, or you. And let me say, there was some jewelry that he brought back. Yeah. And Maxine had it. I bought Debbie a skull necklace, and you give part of the proceeds that
she got to my organization.
Yeah. So tell us about that as well.
So Alita's Legacy is an organization that I founded, named in honor of my mom. And we were supporting education. Our main focus is education in Liberia because of the Civil War. The infrastructure, the education, the economy, everything. I mean, it was the war, and then Ebola came as well and just devastated the country. So they were trying to regroup from the war and get themselves together again when Ebola came and devastated the country. So it has caused a major disconnect and setback when it comes to education. And I decided that, let me just go back. Liberia was one of the places I was never, ever going to visit, ever go back. I was not going back to Africa, ever again.
I don't blame you.
After you,
I would probably have to feel like that too, but.
After what I experienced. And out of a sudden, I just got this urge to go back and do something. And the school that we are working with happened to be a school that my uncle opened way back in the 70s.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So it's got my family name on it. So that's why I decided that school would be my first project in Liberia. So what we did was we told them we were going to renovate the place, And when the contractor came, he was like, "Sir, we cannot. This place is unsalvageable. We cannot renovate it because the walls back here is going to fall one of these days, and hurt these children badly, or worst case scenario, kill somebody." So. Wow. And at the time, we had only, I think, $200 or $250 in our checking account. I bought my own ticket and just went, with faith, thinking that, okay, I'm going to figure out what's going on, come back and raise this money. And I came back, we raised the money to build the school. We built a 2-story 10-classroom building.
Oh, nice.
Yep. And we have collapsible classrooms, so when they're not having classes, that place turns into an auditorium. We brought all the equipment and stuff from there. So they've got this huge 86-inch TV, PA system, AC, everything, which they've never experienced before in their lives, and a computer lab as well.
Golly.
So we have changed, we've changed the lives of those kids over there. They're so excited that they have this, all of this to start learning, because my thought was, bring stuff that's going to open their eyes to the outside world, because you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
Some of these kids don't even have a radio in their homes, let alone a TV, and they haven't seen anything outside of the slums and the shanty town that they live in, So I told the principal and the vice principal to make sure that these kids have probably every Friday or whatever, go to the auditorium, watch documentaries to see outside and start learning different things, because it's just going to open the eyes and the minds to see and dream about things differently.
Yeah. So what ages are at this school?
From first grade, so from 6 years old to 19, 20.
So full. Okay.
So how do you raise money?
Yeah.
What do
There's so many questions.
I know.
Good
It's
gracious.
so
Yeah,
cool, though.
I know. Yeah.
So I, because of my photography, I've gotten to know, a lot of people in the area who, I'll say love me, by the way. And so when we invite them to come, for dinners and fundraisers, they show up. And they're very, very generous.
Show up and show out.
Yes.
That's good. Yeah.
That's so cool.
That's just that giving spirit. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing about this community, again, they all rally around each other.
Yeah. That is something. That's part of the reason I told Shannon initially that I wanted to start this podcast, because I worked here for 18 or 19 months, it seems like, maybe somewhere in that range. And just the amazing talent that I've discovered all along the Gulf Coast has been phenomenal. And then you meet people, and it leads to another individual or another, story or business. And then through Maxine, I learned about you, and it just intrigued me. And so it's amazing how the network, and people are so nice and giving, and with their time, with their resources and everything. So that was what intrigued me about you. And so there are so many things going through my mind right now. I'm trying to think where to pinpoint what
Okay, I want to know about the jewelry and the skull necklace. Do you make the jewelry?
No, I do not. When I was in Liberia in January, because Maxine is looking to help the organization when it comes to arts, and probably go to Liberia to go and teach the kids arts for a week or two.
Wow.
So we started talking, and she's like, "Hey, look, I've got this idea. Why don't we buy some arts and crafts from Liberia, bring them so we can sell them, and then have the money, go to the organization?" And I was like, "Cool." So Maxine and I went on a video shopping spree. So I was on FaceTime.
He was
shopping.
in Liberia.
I was in Liberia shopping with Maxine.
Isn't that crazy? She's FaceTiming.
Yeah.
In Fort Walton.
And we shopped and got some stuff, and I brought it. And I was supposed to be at this pop-up, and unfortunately, I had to turn around and go right back to Liberia. So I did a video call into the pop-up I don't know if you were there at the time.
I missed it.
And so I talked to people who were at the pop-up, and
I'm sure you sold everything too.
she sold, yeah.
That's good. And
I
all
want
goes
something
back.
now. You didn't buy me anything?
That's why, really, I should have, yeah. Sorry. Next
Sorry,
trip.
Debbie.
So you just came back from Liberia, and you're
2 weeks
going
ago.
back
Next week.
Yeah.
How long is that flight?
Well, it depends on what route you take. We are going, it usually takes about 24, 25 hours, depending on delays, because we'll fly from here, Atlanta, Brussels, or Paris. And then from Paris, we go down to Timbuktu, to Mali. So Mali into Bamako, and then fly down to Monrovia. But I'm taking a different route this time. We're going through New York and Casablanca, which is Morocco. And then, so it's about 16, 17 hours flying travel time. It's going to be shorter.
Wow. So what is the biggest thing that you bring with you when you go over there?
To Liberia?
Uh-huh.
Well, the last trip we brought 19 bags because the school was the first project, so I'm knocking the table. So
I can't reach you. Don't worry.
It's hard not to do, yeah.
So our second project actually is at an orphanage. So we went and adopted this orphanage with 56 kids, and we have totally changed these kids' lives.
I bet.
They were at first they were only eating like a meal a day. Now they're getting 3 meals a day. We're almost done building this little cafeteria and mess hall for them, because at first they would just grab the food and go and sit on rocks and stuff in the yard. And we're building a bathroom, a shower facility. At first they would go and fetch water from the hand pump, and take this bucket or whatever to go and bathe.
Wow.
They woke up
Things
at
we
5.
can't comprehend.
Yeah,
I know.
you know,
Really,
it's
yeah.
and it's crazy because even when I lived in Liberia at the time as a kid, I did not experience
You
any
didn't
of
have to
that.
do that, yeah.
No, because we had running water and electricity and stuff.
Oh.
So it's been that long since the war, and it's still that far behind.
Bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
Wow.
what I mean, and I'm sorry for the people in Ukraine because it's
You know what they're going through.
yeah, and it's gonna be a whole lot before they come back to normal.
It won't be like next month when the war,
No,
if
it's
the war's
not.
over a month later, they'll be
No,
back to
it's
normal.
not.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
So do you have a page that people can follow you?
Yeah, we have our website, elitaslegacy.org. It's ALETHASLEGACY. And we do have a Facebook page as well. The Facebook page is a lot more active because you see things like almost daily.
Do you have somebody over there posting?
Sometimes some people post, or sometimes they'll just send me, because we have a project manager and a liaison officer working there. So they'll send me stuff and I'll post it. Or when I go, I mean, I'm a photographer and a videographer, so I just do stuff and just post.
So you were talking about Maxine may go and teach an art class here.
Mm-hmm.
If other people wanted to go and work with you while you're there, is that an option?
That's a huge possibility, and we're looking actually for people to.
Debbie, I'm going to Liberia.
We're looking for people to come with. So when I leave next week, I'm going with 2 individuals, or 3. My daughter is coming with me.
How old your daughter?
18.
Has she been?
No.
Oh, what an experience
really?
that will be.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
So we have Marsha Hall, who was the former CEO of Maddie Kelly. She's going to be coming next week with me. She's going to go visit the daughter that she's sponsoring, the girl. That's going to be, yeah. I already told her, I'm like, you're going to have a camera on you, and you're going to be mic'd up, so just get ready. Because
wow.
I want to make sure I take
But it'll be
that.
so awesome because we'll be able to feel it from here just from
Yeah.
seeing that.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to follow. What is your
It's going to be
biggest
hard
need?
for her to leave, though, and not want to bring her
Oh.
with her. So that's, that's.
We'll see. I mean, we're already talking to, luckily, the government. We've spoken to the Ministry of Gender and asked them about the possibility of adopting some of these kids because
And bringing them
really?
back to
and
the
bring them
U.S.?
here. Yeah.
That would be
So,
amazing.
people who would be interested in adopting their child that they're sponsoring, because all of the 56 kids have individual sponsors here in Destin. Yeah,
And so their parents are out of the picture completely.
completely. Yeah.
But they all have an adopted parent in Destin.
Yes.
Look at there.
A sponsor.
A
not
sponsor.
Yeah.
But if you're working on if they want to
Yeah.
adopt them and bring them to the U.S.,
yeah.
That's.
wouldn't that be amazing?
Oh yeah. And so the government works well with you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
you're
They-
fortunate with that part as
I
well.
am.
Yeah.
And luckily for me, I have, even though I've been out of the country, for over 30 years, most of my high school friends and people who were there are in high positions in the government.
Yeah.
So all I just need to do is make a phone call.
Oh, that's
that's
nice.
nice. Yeah,
That's really,
yeah.
So what is your biggest need? How, if somebody's listening, they're like, oh my gosh, I want to help. What is your biggest need?
You can go to our website. There's a donate button over there where you can either donate, set up a monthly donation, or just make a donation. And we have ongoing projects, so we always need money, because even right now, to finish the orphanage, we still need, I think, about $40,000 to complete, because we want to fence the whole area and change their living quarters as well. On this last trip, the last 2 trips, we bought brand new beds for them. So we threw away all of the old rickety wooden beds, and we have metal bunk beds for them, new mosquito nets, and we're going to be changing the roof, because if you go to our YouTube page or online, there are documentaries showing things that we've done and things that they actually need. Some of them are really
Wow.
horrible. So yeah.
Well, what a difference you're making.
Yeah. So if someone wanted to donate supply, do you gather supplies here? I know you said when 20 bags one time.
Yeah.
So obviously, sometimes you do.
We do.
How do we get the information? Like, I know this trip's gonna be too soon to do it, but on future trips, if we can work together, I'll post and see if we can help you with supplies and as well as the finances part of it as
We
well.
have somebody in Atlanta who we may be shipping a big crate, of stuff there so that it gets there. We were hoping to ship it June or July, so it gets there by Christmas for them. Because this last trip when we went in the fall, we brought all of the sponsors bought Christmas gifts and stuff for the kid. So we had to take those 18 bags because there was supposed to be 20 bags, but Delta only allowed 18 bags, so we left 2 behind.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Couldn't you just make it a bigger bag and put 2
Really?
in?
So that's what happened.
That's so nice.
That's how we bring the stuff. Yeah.
Well, Zalman, 30 minutes is already gone. I just can't believe it's that quick. And I was worried at one time, what am I going to really have to talk to him about? Well, that was not an issue at all.
Not at all.
In fact,
I could
there's so
listen
much
for a
more.
lot longer.
Yeah. I appreciate what you do. And just your talent part already impressed me. Everything that we've talked about today, it's impressive. And there's so many things going through my head right now. And I feel like I've mainly just sat here and just listened to you because it's just.
We were like this.
Yeah, one thing just leads to another. So we appreciate what you do. It's
Thank you so
awesome
much.
that you're going back to your home country and doing what you're doing for those children there. So we will definitely stay in touch. I'll put some links on my website and pages as well that we could hopefully work together, and who knows, we may end up in Liberia with you.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Thank you so
Good.
much for having me.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. So, Sandra, what do you think about that? That's just.
I want to hear more.
I know. Will you come back again sometime?
I will definitely come
Okay.
back.
Okay.
Awesome. Good.
Perfect. I can't wait to see what our community does when you put those out there.
And it's great that Destin has done what they've done and accepted that, so we can spread that all along
I
the
love
Gulf. Yeah. All right. Well, good deal. Well, thank you so much. We've enjoyed this podcast immensely, and we look forward to seeing you on our next edition.
Check out Luxe Life Discovered on Facebook and Instagram and on 30a.tv. See you next time on Luxe Life Discovered.